What's up, guys? It's me, Mad Samurai 84 here for a new round of PS Plus plays. We're in the month of June. We have 3 games to play. All PS4, PS5 versions are available, which is quite cool. Yeah, we've been having an alright year, some ups, some downs. Be interested to play these games. Some I've actually wanted to play, some that I've not cared to play, and some that I've seen and thought, oh, that looks interesting. So, yeah, hopefully they are all right games. So I've played through the games for a bit. I range between probably an hour to 4 hours, depending on how well I've got on with the game, how much I've liked it, and it's kind of how much has drawn me in. So I've played a little bit of it, and I've basically just giving a kind of cap of my likes and not likes type really thing. Just giving a little overview of what I think of the game, of what I've witnessed so far. Anyway, and then at the end I give thumb scores. A thumb score whether I think it's a good game, and a thumb score whether I think it's a good offering. And then at the end I will do a total overview of the month and give an overall score for the month, because that is the main. Is it a good month? You know, you can have a load of good games come for you in the month, and then it can be slightly weak in the offerings because they could be actually just, really old and stuff that we didn't need. We could have got something better, Anyway, let's jump into the first game. Our first title for June is Trek to Yomi, which is a side-scrolling kind of samurai game, really. And if you like me and you love like a good old samurai movie, and especially the black and white ones from Akira Kurosawa, you would think this must be excellent, because I think when I look at it, I'm like, oh wow, this has an amazing aesthetic look to it. It kind of makes me feel like it makes me want to go and watch one of the old samurai films that I kind of hold so close and dear to my heart. But, aside from having an excellent aesthetic, this game really lacks kind of true... I feel like any gameplay depth outside of its inspirations, but I shouldn't knock this game too much, as with its rather simple controls, it does make it really easy to jump in and play, where it mainly consists of block, parry, attack, really. That's what it is. But yeah, so far, I have been enjoying it. It is quite, simple in a way, but it's a nice looking game. But on the most part, this is just like a side-scrolling adventure where you seek vengeance for your village that has been burnt down and attacked. So you're just kind of driving through the level and just taking out the bad guys, really, with your little arsenal of weapons. It's a rather short experience. It's clocking in around 5 hours, it's saying online. I think I may be about halfway through it, because I was kind of getting into it. So it's a nice little game to play as like a little palate cleanser, probably in between like a big game you've played. On the graphics side, the game, it looks nice from when you're zoomed out at the camera angle with the black and white filter, but when you kind of get up close-up parts, you can see that it's just... if this was in colour, it wouldn't be impressive at all. It would be kind of slightly uglier, but I think by being black and white and having having the camera where it is, it actually makes the game look very impressive, and that is like a graphically good, great game. But so I think they're very smart of how they've done that. They could make something that looks quite simple, add a nice filter to it, and then it looks pretty good from afar. But it's not a terrible looking game. It's just not an amazing looking game. But I do plan on finishing this game with the time I've put into it. And I thought that if it, it's all right, but the repetitive gameplay, you kind of be glad it's kind of short, because if this was like a 10-hour experience, I don't think I would kind of push myself to play through the end. But because it's rather short, and it is like a black and white samurai film type thing, I think I will play through it, because it is like a nice little kind of short experience, really. I'm not going to go through the whole platinum type thing. I had a look and I was like, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna have it as a little fun, a little play in between games, really. Just like, played this, I played that. All right, now, oh yeah, I'll just play through this one. It's a little quick thing. But when you look at the game's Metacritic, on the PS4, it has no Metacritic score. On the PS5, it sits at a 69. You know what? I can get that. I see that. And the user scores, PS4 sits at a 6.2 for its user score, and a PS5 sits at like a 7. Now, when I look at these scores, I feel like, yeah, this is probably right. It's not a terrible game, but it's not a great game. It's a game you can just jump in and play and enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with games that are 6 and a 7s out of 10s. There's nothing really wrong with them in a way. They can still be really enjoyable and actually quite fun to play through. And this is actually quite a fun experience to play through. Yeah, it's not the greatest. It's not this, it's not that, but I think people are probably putting too more emphasis on trying to compare games what they should be. But it is simple, but yeah, it's quite enjoyable. So my thumb scores, if I was to give this a game score, I'm going to have to go with a thumb in the middle. Not going to go with a 3/4 of a thumb up. I feel like a thumb in the middle for this game is kind of probably good. It is that 6, 7, I don't want to go. It could slightly go up to like a 3/4, but it's no. It's that between a 6 and a 7 out of 10. A thumb in the middle is I think a good score for it. It's fun, but it's not the greatest of games. And I think people probably you'll be able to jump in it and play it because it's quite simple to play. And you just go through it and you'll be like, yeah, that was all right. That was all right. Now, my offering score, well, this only came out in May 2022, so it's just shy over a year old. And I feel like this is actually a pretty good offering as like to start off the month because, it's a very stylish game. It's a very easy game to play. It's not a long game, but it's very accessible. I think you can easily play this, really, and you can actually just play through it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that was all right. So I feel like this is an all right offering. So I'm going to give an offering score of a 3/4 of a thumb up, because I feel like it's 13 months old. It looks nice. It plays easily, and it is actually quite fun to play through. Really, there's plenty of other games which they can give us which are just not that great. Really, or just not a good offering. But I think this is a fairly good offering to start off the month. Now on to our second title for June, and that is Jurassic World Evolution 2. This came out in November 2021, so it's that's about 12, about a year and a half or so, about a year and a half, 19 months or so old, so that's not bad, a bit over a year and a half. I think that's good. Now, I have played the first game. That came out on Games of Gold a while back. I really enjoyed it. And I really wanted to play it a bit more. But because my Xbox is like in storage at the moment, I've always been kind of looking at maybe getting it for the PS4. And I was like, oh yeah, I could never find it right price. And I never got it. And I was just like, oh. And then this came out. I saw it. I was like, oh, okay. And I've always kept my eye on it of like, price-wise, but then just gone and got it, which ain't bad for me personally. So basically, these are just like construction management sim games, really. So you just got to not necessarily build the park, but there are modes where you can build a park. There's there's a couple of modes. There's a campaign mode, there's a sandbox mode, there's a chaos theory mode, and there's a challenge mode. And they all do different things. But I've been mainly playing campaign mode and getting into that. And the nice thing with the campaign mode, it kind of follows on from the Jurassic World films, really, after the second one, where you've kind of all these dinosaurs are roaming free of the land, and you've kind of got to go pick them up and stick them in a pen and kind of do this and do that to kind of do that level to move on to the next. And it's actually quite fun, to be honest. With these games, one of the most important things is controls, really, because they are typically meant best to be played with a keyboard and mouse type thing, back on the PC. And I feel like these games, they can be super hit or miss or on a controller, on a console if it's not done right. And I have to say, it's a hit. I like the controls in it. It flows well. Everything works very well. Yeah, there probably could be a little bit of this and that, but so forth that I can't even name them. Really, those little things, those niggly things in the controls. Everything else, I think, is really, really good, and it's very easy to play and navigate through the menus and the map and everything. But yeah, this is having a lot of fun with this. A nice little kind of gameplay thing in this I've kind of noticed, which I've kind of quite enjoyed, is that you can take control of a helicopter or a jeep, and you can either just send them out to do things, like you can get the helicopter, send them out to tranquilize or scout dinosaurs out in the wild, but you can take control of the helicopter if you want and tranquilize the dinosaurs if you want yourself. With the jeep, you can drive around the grounds, you can go into the pens, check on the dinosaurs, take pictures, and try not get attacked by them if they are of that type of dinosaurs. So yeah, I found it's quite fun. You can just do it for 5 seconds and actually pop out, and it carries on, really, which is really nice if it's got the commands. So it's actually quite cool. Actually, I've been enjoying that thing, because basically in the campaign you are just going for all the dangerous dinosaurs. So all the dinosaurs that aren't really predators and all this stuff, you're kind of leaving them out for the wild. You're kind of detaining all the dangerous ones. But so that's it. Graphically, this game is actually quite nice. It's not too bad. It looks nice from far out, and when you kind of like zoom in, it looks nice. All the dinosaurs look very well detailed, and they look quite impressive. They do. It looks. It's a very nice looking game. Not the best, but it's actually a very rather decent game. One thing I found it's just like I wish they kind of had it in there is of when you're in game, you could actually go on to the level, and you can actually just like walk into some of the buildings you kind of make, because you make like this type of genetics center, this center, that center, this building. It would actually be nice if they were actually quite interactive, where you can go on the ground, you can actually walk through the building, and like the building that houses the helicopter and jeep, you could just walk through, climb up, boom, boom, and get in the helicopter and go off. That just would be nice. That would be quite cool, I feel like, of being able to go through and you've got stuff you can interact with and NPCs you can talk to, this and that. That would be quite cool, I feel like. That would kind of make it more of a real experience of actually kind of being really, really interactive. And also, another thing, I'm not sure like how far it is. There might be something in the sandbox if you're creating a park, but I really do hope, or they haven't had it so far from the amount I've put into it of just the campaign, is I really want some sort of like theme park-esque in it, like, because you're making a park, so do you want like roller coasters and this and that stuff that go over the dinosaur enclosures, this and that? That would be like actually amazing. if they had that, and I haven't come across it. And from when I tried to Google it, I couldn't see anything about it. I was like, oh man, that would have been just really cool if they had something like that. That you had it as like a theme park simulator, as well as like the whole management dinosaur park uh, sim. That would be cool, but you know that's just something that would be just be like awesome if they added it in, but it's not really super needed. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this game, been having a lot of fun with it, and yeah, it's just like you know I wanted to play the first one, been meaning to, and then now the kind of recent sales that happened, I've kind of went on, and then I see like the first one for like 90% off. I'm like, I'm like, really? You now you go to 90% off. I was like, well, there's no point buying it now because I've got the second one, really. But I might still be tempted to buy that first one because if I pay through this one, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll play through the first one as well because it's actually quite fun. And I find these games, if they're fun, they actually can be quite addictive. Really, you can have a lot of fun with it. You know, it would be interesting to try a keyboard and mouse on it, so to see what it like. But the controls play very, very well, and it's very, very fun. I'm a big fan of the Jurassic Park films. I like the old ones. The kind of the third Jurassic Park film wasn't too bad. I liked the first Jurassic World film. Not so much the second Jurassic World film. I haven't watched the latest one. I heard it's not great, but I'll be the judge of that from my personal opinion. But yeah, it's actually, I wish there was some more Jurassic Park-esque games, really. Can I give us like because I remember playing the one on the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park one. I never finished that one. That one was just like, you just get mauled. And there is a way of it, and I would like to follow some sort of guide and actually finish that one on the SNES one day. One day. There was a good one on the Mega Drive, if I remember correctly. I remember there being a pretty good Jurassic Park game on the Mega Drive. But yeah, maybe I should go around and collect all the Jurassic Park games. Really, maybe that's the thing. I'm gonna have a look into it and see how many games there are, really, and on what systems, and maybe grab them. I'll see. But yeah, this is not a bad game. It plays well. It looks nice. You can't really go wrong there. You don't think. And when you look at its Metacritic, this is another game where there's no Metacritic score for the PS4, but the PS5 Metacritic score is a 78, which what I see that 7-8 mark. I think I can understand that. That's cool. User scores though, PS4 is a 5.9. It's quite low, so I don't know how it runs. It might not run that well on the PS4. Who knows? PS5 sits at a 7. Very decent. I think the PS5 scores look pretty good. Really, PS4 score is quite low. So I haven't played that version. I can't really say. But thumb scores. What would I give for my thumb scores? Well, I've really enjoyed this game. I think it's actually quite fun. I know these type of games aren't for everyone, but I think it's a well polished game. It controls well. It looks nice. Plenty of modes for you to play and kind of go through and learn and have a lot of fun. I think they can be a lot of challenge, and you get to kind of tranquilize the dinosaurs. Who doesn't want to do that? So as a game score, I'm going to give a 3/4 of a thumb up because I think it's good. I think it's good, and it is good. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm going to keep this installed on the hard drive and play through it because it's awesome. As an offering score, well, this is about 18, 19 months old, so I think this is not a bad offering. I think it's quite good, and it's an enjoyable game, and we kind of this is that kind of like AA game. It's not a AAA game, but it's a really decent AA game, really, and I think you have a lot of fun. You have to really try it. I think this is a really decent offering for the month, really. So I'm going to give an offering score of a 4 thumb up because if It's not too old. It's really enjoyable. So, yeah, I think it's a really good offering for me personally. Why wouldn't you think that? But anyway, that's our second game done. On to our last for the month. Now, our last title for June is NBA 2K23. This came out in September 2022. Now, if you didn't know, this is actually the fourth 2K we've got. In the past, we've got 2K14, 2K16, 2K20, and now we've got 2K23. And yeah, feels a little bit like deja vu in a way. The main mode that you're probably going to be playing when you play this is the My Player main. It's the main mode, My Player. You create your player. It's a whole basically kind of career mode, and it's chock full of story and boring scenes that are overly long and just terrible writing, to be honest. It makes you want to skip through the scenes. They feel so awkward and so dull. You'll just be skipping through the scenes. They add nothing to your experience apart from just making it much longer. But the main part of My Player is this city player hub, which is a great idea, but it's full of bugs and performance issues. And it seems like more of an advertising space than game, really. They kind of advertise lots of brands, this and that, and it's just like, okay. It's a little bit of a chore to travel around because it is actually quite a big hub. From what I've been able to gauge, there is no fast travel, which is annoying because I feel like this game really needs a fast travel in this player hub. You know, you can get modes of transport. I've seen people riding around on scooters, which is hilarious. But to start off, you get a skateboard, which just controls terribly. You know, it gives you these options to do tricks, and it's just terrible. It controls so bad. It's like, what are you doing? I wouldn't be riding the skate. At least if you're going to make it, don't let her do tricks or this or that. At least make it just like a very easy, simple, just use it to drive around. But you've tried to complicate it, really, and you find yourself getting stuck into driving into walls, this and that, and getting stuck. And this can be rather annoying. So sometimes it feels like I'll just run it. I'll just run around. But there's lots of side missions, little kind of events you can do. You can go to the gym, do some working out, build up your strength, which is quite cool and interesting. But it's annoying because you go to the gym and there's like one spot. So if someone's using equipment, you have to wait in line. You have to wait in line for your turn, which is, it is, that's how gyms are, but do we have to do that in the game? Can't we just like go, all right, you want to do this, and you go to a side thing and you do your workout, bum 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 bum. But I'm having to wait for this person to do their chest presses or their whatever, their rope jiggles or whatever they are. It's just like, really? But I haven't explored the whole of the city, but I've actually found that quite a cool thing. I'm complaining, but I actually think it's actually a cool space and interesting what they've done. They just should have made it a bit better in a way. It would have been nice that you could just start randomly, just because you see lots of players just walking around. It would be nice if you could start kind of, I don't know, just pick up a basketball, and because there are some little hoops around, but I think they're little kind of lobbies that you go to. I think because there are rooms you go to, and you can go into lobbies to play like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. But if you've got this open world, why can't you just like grab a basketball and have a load of like nets around, just go around and practice this and that? Because there are practice places. There is like a little gym where you can go practice, but out in the open space, that would be quite cool. Really, you can have a basketball and you just go up, start shooting it, and just make it a bit fun and silly in a way. I feel like that's where a lot of things have gone wrong. They've tried to make it too serious, really. Because me personally, I like I liked older basketball games, like I like the arcade style ones, like NBA Street Jam. They were so fun to play. But now, like for this game, like I feel like the controls suck for someone who used to play those games. Even when tinkering with 1,000 gameplay options, it still makes this game hard to play. All I want to do is dunk, do layups, score 3-pointers, and have a lot of fun. And I don't like the shoot meter, but the nice thing, you can change it to a stat base, which is right. So if you've got someone with half decent stats, you can. I rather miss by having not great stats and then having to just go, oh, get the timing right. It's just like, oh, I just want to have a bit of fun, really. Maybe if I was younger, maybe, but now I just want to have fun playing these sports games, and it's just like, it's just too much with the whole story thing. It's so like, it's just like, oh god, it's like you had such a good opportunity where you could actually make it really fun, but you've kind of, and the way you've done things and you've put things, you've made it unfun to play basketball. And I don't think there's many people who are going to agree with me, but they're making it unfun to play basketball. That's what I feel like. But out of all the modes, I have to say, I had fun playing the Jordan Challenge. Really, it's where you play key matches in Michael Jordan's career. And the awesome thing is, well, I liked it but it's still the same game, right? But just I like what they did. Is the awesome thing is that they put like an old filter on the camera, so it gives that feel of you watching on the TV back then. So it's actually quite nice, and it's the same game. I actually quite enjoyed playing it more because it was just like, oh, I quite like it. That's cool. That's all right. But as a basketball game, I feel like this is a very weak representation of one. If you gave me a choice of playing Inside Drive 2004, I'm definitely not choosing 2K. No. Inside the Drive, yeah, it's a nearly 20-year-old game. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but you know what? It was really good and it was really fun to play. Really, you could jump in and play it, and you didn't have to mess around. It was a super solid basketball game. We need a new NBA Street series, and it would be nice to have the ability to play some of the older basketball games, because there's some. Unless you're kind of going to play some of the old machines, but it's just the whole thing of like playing older games, really. You gotta have those systems. Luckily, I do. I have an older Xbox that I can go play NBA Street. I'm not sure. They're not NBA Street. Inside the Drive. Actually, does it work on 360? I have to have a look at that. It might do, because I'm pretty sure that was a Microsoft developed game. So technically, that really should be part of their backwards compatible kind of series, if it is. I have to double check, because I'm pretty sure it was. The Inside the Drive series was a Microsoft. It was the same when they had the NFL game. It's gone from my head. Is it NFL Fever? I want to say NFL Fever. That was excellent. That was an excellent game. That was just awesome. An awesome American football game. Kind of got bored. Platform publisher. It was a Microsoft published game. It was. So, yeah. See, I got like an 8.4 from IGN. Only a 6.8. It's better than that. It's like an 8 out of 10 for me. But it's like a really, really fun series. I actually had a few of these. I actually didn't realise. There was 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004. Oh, okay. You know what? I might collect the others ones for it, really. I only ever played 2004. That's the one I had. And you know what? I thought it was excellent. It was great, to be honest. Obviously, didn't sell enough, or they just didn't bother doing the license. That's a bit of a shame, because it's actually really, really good. Yeah, NFL Fever. That's it. That's the one. That's the one. We had 2000, 2003. See, I can't remember. It might be in 2004 I've played. But that one was really, really good. Really top game. Yeah, 2004 I played. Yeah, I didn't play the other ones. I said, looking at the cover, 2004. That was an excellent game. Excellent game. Same with Link's Golf. Link's Golf is an amazing game. It was an amazing game. What's this? NBA Shootout. Don't remember ever playing that one. See, I'm just going through the wiki, and these are all ones that Microsoft. Oh no, NBA Shootout definitely was not a Microsoft one. That was who was that done by then? I'm not too sure. Oh, is that one of ESM Extreme Games? So, okay, is that part of Sony's? Okay, that's part of Sony's sports games. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look into that one. NBA Shootout. When did they stop doing them? 2003, 989 Sports. Okay, yeah, that covers look familiar. I'm gonna have a look into those ones as well. Really, I'm gonna start playing older basketball games because they're more entertaining and fun to play. But anyway, yeah, it's just I feel like they've lost something in these games, and they're kind of making them unfun to play. They're making them really unfun to play, and you just don't want to be playing them because it's actually really annoying. Really, you got a sport which you could make super awesome, but you're not really doing it, which is quite sad. But yeah, it is a shame. I would love to be playing like an NBA Street today, and you know what? It's probably going to have to come think of like playing it. I think I can't remember how many there was. I never played any of the NFL Streets or the FIFA Streets, and tempted to just get them, put them in the back catalogue. But the NBA Street games 1 and 2, there might have been a third one. Probably never played the third one, but they were awesome. They were amazing. They were just so fun to play, really. And I say, bring it back. Whoever, figure it out, bring it back. But when you look at the game's Metacritic, this is where you can see probably certain people kind of being slightly annoyed with the series. Now, there's no PS4 Metacritic score, but there's a PS5 Metacritic score. So that sits at a 78. Now, the user scores, this is where you can see probably a lot of people getting annoyed at the 2K series. Now, the PS4 user score sits at 4.4, and the PS5 user score sits at 4.5. So you can see people are getting very annoyed with it, really. And you know what? I can understand that, because just by playing it, I can see like and kind of briefly playing the previous ones, they've gone so away from basketball, trying to have this whole kind of microtransactions story, this and that. It's just like, you know what? I think it's going to take people just to stop buying the game for them to go, oh, maybe we should kind of change it and do this and that. So, yeah, I understand the user scores, and I feel like even those user scores are probably too high, really. 4 and under for me, I would say. But my thumb scores, what would I give a thumb score? Well, as a game score, it does play alright. If you're into that, it does play. It has its ups and it has a lot of downs. But I feel like for me, I'm going to go with a game score of a quarter of a thumb up. Just because I just don't feel like it's just easy accessible for people. And it's not making like easy mode, but it's just like making it fun. And it's just not fun to play. It's definitely not fun. Now, an offering score. Well, I'm not a big fan of getting these sports games on PS Plus. We've had it with FIFA and stuff like that, and they're always at the end of the season, and it's just like, I don't want it. What's the point? I'd rather not. I'd rather you give me a proper game than a sports game. If you're not going to give me the sports game near the start of the season, don't bother. Really, this only came out in September 2022. I'm not sure when the basketball season starts, but that's pretty short. What's that? Only like, what's that? 7 months, 8, 9 months ish old. So under a year, you're like, oh yeah, but no, it's a sports game. It's the fourth one we've had in what? When did we get the first one? The very first. Well, we got 2K14 in June 2014. So we've all got them in June, and 2K20 came in the July 2020. So yeah, they've all come at the same time. So yeah, in the 9 years we've got 4 games. 4 games, we got nearly half the time we've got an NBA game. And no, you're not going to get it lightly. I'm going to give you a score of a thumb down. Not a good offering. Not a great game to be giving us, especially as a main one. If you're going to give us this one, you should be giving us an extra one to combat of giving us a sports title. Really, if it was the NHL games, I'd probably be like, hey, I don't mind, because I quite like the NHL games. But anyway, in the end, it's not a great game. It's not fun. I haven't enjoyed it. I don't. If you're into the NBA games, then yeah, give it a play. But other than that, it's just like, nah, I'll move on to something else. It's just not fun. Now I've played through all the games as I've just spoken about. Now I'm going to give a overall final thoughts of the month and give an overall final score of the month. So to start off the month, we had Trek to Yomi. It's a game that's inspired by the old black and white samurai films. Great aesthetic, simple gameplay, which is a good and bad way. Very side-scrolling, very short, not bad, quite fun. Not the prettiest of looking games, but it does look pretty when it's in black and white. I was enjoying that. I gave that a thumb in the middle as a game score and an offering score of a 3/4 thumb up. Now, a second title we got was Jurassic World Evolution 2. Really enjoyed it. Construction management sim of the Jurassic World universe. If you've never played the first one, you can get it really cheap as well. But we've got this one. Very enjoyed it. It controls well. It plays well. It's actually quite addictive for me personally. I gave that a game score of a 3/4 thumb up and an offering score of a full thumb up. And our last title for the month was NBA 2K23. Another yearly sports game that's given to us just after the season has finished. This is our 4th NBA 2K game in 9 years. We've had 14, 16, 20, 23. Lots of issues with it. Not that fun to play. It's just... There's some alright things on it if you like it. Jordan Challenge. Looking at you, chap. But other than that, it's not fun to play, really. They've sapped all the fun out of playing basketball. Game score, 1/4 thumb up. Offering score, thumb down. You know what? It's a stinky thumb down. It really is. It's a stinky thumb down. But now, that's all that. What do we give overall for the month? Well, overall, I feel like NBA 2K really tanked the score, really, because it actually could have been better if it was actually a better title. We're giving us a better title. So I'm just giving it like a mid score for the month. So my overall game score is just going to be a thumb in the middle, and my overall offering score is going to be another thumb in the middle. Really, it could have been, should have been a lot better than that. Really, yeah. Just stop giving us, no doubt in another, maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 years, there'll be another one. That's how they've become. They were every 2 years. Well, they went, what's that? That was 2 years in between 14 and 16, and then 20. So that was a 4-year gap. Then it's another 3-year gap. Yeah, not great. So maybe another 2-3 years we might get another NBA 2K, but hopefully we don't. It's not a terrible month, but it's not a great month. It's a mid month because of the 2K game. It really is. It kind of spoiled the month, really, which was started off quite promising, and trust 2K to bring it down. Anyway, that is June 2023's PS Plus games talked about and played and rated of where I think they sit. Was it a good month? It was an okay month. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Yeah, very disappointing with getting games like that. But anyway, hopefully July they bring it back up. July. They can't give us another NBA game in July. They won't give us another FIFA game in July. I hope not. Please don't give us FIFA. Please. God, I don't actually can't remember how many FIFA games we've got. I think we might have got 2 in the past, or it might have just been 1. I'm not too sure. What FIFA games do we get? Oh no, we've only got 1 ever FIFA game, and that was FIFA 22. Okay, all right, not too bad. As long as it's not a farming simulator game, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment. What games did you like this month? What games do you hope for next month? Let me know. Anyway, until then, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll see you whenever I get around to making other videos than just these ones, because life is just full of craziness. Anyway, take care. Bye.